amazing what a difference a week can make. I mean, literally, last time we were here, we almost sort of slitting our wrists because things were so bad. Look, I suppose markets just felt too much. And come back to a theme that I've spoken about often on the show. The underlying economy is actually growing. You know, this whole May-June issue was a financial market phenomenon. It may have translated, and it may still, I mean, who knows, I don't think so, but it may translate into an economic event. But so far, certainly, it was only a financial market event. The underlying economy worldwide still growing. In fact, the IMF upped their growth forecast for the year a day or two ago. So maybe we're just seeing a little bit more, I suppose, reality check coming into the markets. Certainly State Street, which is a big American financial organization, their results that came out was really the turning point, much better than expected. Today, some other economic data came out of the US, which was stock levels, which is also relatively positive. So risk is back on the table again.
It's interesting, you mentioned those wholesale inventories out of the US, rising by 0.5% to $398 billion, which is looking better, but sales
were down,
fell for the first time in more than a year, down 0.3% in May, and most were expecting an increase of 0.5%.
Yeah.
So that clearly means that the stock is not really moving to the end consumer way.
Not yet, but I mean, and just 2 points very quickly. First of all, there's been no restocking yet. Now that sounds strange because all we hear is that, you know, increases in stock levels have contributed so much to world growth. It's not entirely true. All that's happened is people have stopped destocking. So you haven't actually increased your stock levels. You have just stopped decreasing your stock levels. The retail sales, well, I suppose, you know, 0.2, 0.3 is not the end of the world. And we actually did a bit of a study over the last day or two. It's relatively normal after a year of economic expansion because, believe it or not, the world has actually, the worst point was a year ago. It's not unusual to see a little bit of slowdown in the growth rate, in the momentum.
Okay, well, just looking at the fact that we are seeing relatively low volumes globally, it seems that a lot of market participants, the ones that are not active, are feeling relatively bearish and they are sitting on the sidelines.
Well, either that or they're watching soccer. You know,
everyone in the world, in Europe and in the US.
Well, there's a very good indicator that says, you know, when the World Cup, so when a major sporting event is on, there's less volume traded through the stock market. So we'll see next week. If the volumes pick up again to the normal levels next week, that will be the case. But it also, I think two things are quite evident. Firstly, when you get a smattering of good news, the market shoots up very, very quickly,
Because we saw the gold price recovering quite nicely and it's above that key 1,200 level. Some of the reports I read say that perhaps some investors think that the recent rally that we've been seeing is losing some steam and some are going back to their bearish views. Do you think that's likely?
Look, it's quite possible. It was quite interesting that gold fell. Well, not interesting. It's quite normal for gold to fall when the markets recover, obviously. That's quite normal. And we've seen rand strength as well in that type of scenario, which is also normal. But we'll see what happens. What we do know is that, and I mean, no one knows the future, but the market's tested this 26,000 level 3 times this year. And each time it gets there, it bounces back off. Now, that just shows you there are a lot of buyers out there who perceive value in the market at those type of levels. But, you know, next week again, we might all be depressed again because the market will be down 5%. Who knows? These are volatile times.
And creating a lot of buying opportunities, I would say, as well. Let's touch on this whole Nedbank HSBC speculation because, again, and so there's a lot of speculation when it comes to Nedbank and, of course, a lot of these companies interested in South African companies. Nedbank rallying around 4% yesterday. It's now flat in today's session, but pretty much in line with what we've been seeing with all the banks in today's session. Wayne, what do you make of the speculation?
Well, look, it's not the first time. It's either Nedbank or it's First Rand or it's HSBC or it's Standard Chartered or it's somewhere else. Now, do overseas banks, the ones that have got money, by the way, do they want to buy into a bank in Africa? The answer is probably yes over time. Because, you know, if you believe the growth story, if you believe all the positive news around emerging markets, this will be the growth area for the next 5 or 10 years in comparison to the developed markets. So do they want to buy? The answer is yes. Nedbank, First Rand, they probably both are likely targets. Old Mutual, in essence, Old Mutual is a financial service organization, the same as any other life company that relies on a distribution network. In other words, strictly speaking, at the end of the day, life insurance companies is about selling your product. That's what it's all about. Now, Nedbank doesn't necessarily help Old Mutual much to sell their product. So is it an absolute core investment? Probably not. It's a financial investment. So I wouldn't doubt at all if Nedbank is up for sale at some stage. Whether it's now or not, I mean, who actually knows?
Okay, news are out earlier today, Telkom CEO Ruben September stepping down, making the way for Jeffrey Hedberg. Do you think it was the right decision? What do you make of the timing?
Well, look, the quicker, if a CEO announces that they're going, it's probably best if they leave as soon as possible and get the new person in, the new replacement, the new team, and start off. So I can't quite remember what Telkom share price did. I think it's up about 1%. So no big reaction to the news. Maybe it came out a bit late. Yeah, I think it's good news.